Today we've got 7 surprisingly long-lasting fragrances that you, my friend, should be wearing. You should be picking some of these up, you should be spraying them on yourself, and you should realize, whoa, wait a minute, this is actually a strong performer here. Because really, when you look at these at the surface level, you may think that they're not going to be good performers for a number of reasons, whether it be the note breakdown, the type of scent. You may just generalize that as a fragrance that normally wouldn't perform good, or maybe some of these would have maybe a track record or something to where other fragrances from the brand or the line didn't perform good, so then you project that onto this fragrance. But I'm here to tell you that for me, on my personal skin, I get above average performance out of all of these here. And so ultimately that does mean that we are including some things that are a bit different, maybe a bit just kind of random stuff that you don't normally see on the channel. So the obvious Sauvage and Layton and, those obvious beast mode fragrances, they're not in here. And I will provide links to each and every one of these down below in the video description so that way you can pick some up for yourself. The Fragrance Net 35% off link will also be down there as well. If you hit that, that'll automatically apply the current up-to-date best discount code. And from there, you can start shopping and save the maximum amount of money. So if you're after performance, let's go ahead and get in there. And we're going to start this off with Bulgari Man Glacial Essence. Glacial. Clearwood, juniper berries, and musk are just a few of the notes here. So this one kind of would get automatically lumped into the category of, oh, it's a freshie, it's a clear bottle with hints of blue, and it has white on it. It's going to be a weak scent. And to be fair, I understand the thought process behind this. You look at something that is primarily fresh, that kind of has a water theme to it, and you just kind of think that. But I'm here to tell you that this is actually uncannily strong. Like, it is. I don't know why. I don't know what is going on in this fragrance. Now, it is an eau de parfum, but, I found that from the first time I sprayed it, when I first got it in, my typical thing is I just like to spray it up in the air if I'm not doing a first impressions and just kind of get an idea that way. And as I was spraying this up in the air, it was sticking around for a long time. I mean, our whole upstairs smelled like this stuff from just a couple of sprays, and it hung out for a good while. And of course, wearing this one on your skin will yield very similar results. I found longevity has been consistently above 8 hours, 8, sometimes 9, maybe a bit more. Next up, we have Gucci Guilty Black, everyone's favorite fragrance, right? You may look at this one, and you look at the note breakdown, and more importantly, you take a look or a sniff, the smell, and you realize that even though it's called Gucci Guilty Black, even though it has obviously a black paint on the bottom here, and then just kind of a darker profile overall, it is on the fresher side, which is a little bit strange, but that's how it is here. Green notes, lavender, orange blossom. It's aromatic, fresh, and green. Even though it has that going on here, it still does have good performance, at least on me. People may claim to get bad performance out of this one either because they actually do, which is something that does happen. Skin chemistry plays a huge role in this. Or they may say it has bad performance because they just don't like it, whether they don't like the brand, the line, or both, or some other reason. Maybe they just don't like the scent and they're trying to play or hate. So my advice to you is to give this one a shot. It's not a hidden gem, right? It's Gucci Guilty Black, very popular, which means that it should be available at most retailers near you that you can sample it first and then get a feel for it yourself. For me, I blind bought this just like I do everything, and I was pleasantly surprised at the performance of this one packs. And after all, this is only an eau de toilette. It does hang pretty good, surprisingly. Next up, we have Azzaro Pour Homme Edition Noir. Look at that sweet looking bottle. Nice matte black, has a texture to it. Very cool. Bitter orange, vetiver, ISO E Super. It's fresh, it's woody, and it has a little bit of a stringent smell coming from the bitter orange here. But it also has its facets of kind of a smooth woodiness, the ISO E Super. That gives it a modern twist. And even though it's not a new release, I think it's actually been out for a little while here. It does have this kind of modern men's woody smell to it, just kind of that personality. This one is also an eau de toilette, and again, when you look at the bottle here, it kind of looks menacing, looks super dark and rich. It's still very fresh and woody, right? So it's a little bit strange. You would think maybe something like Azzaro Pour Homme Intense would be in a bottle like this because that one's rum and spicy. This one's still on the fresher side, has facets of that original Azzaro Pour Homme DNA, that aromatic fougere style, but with more focus on an orange, on vetiver, on just more woods in general, and less barbershoppy smelling. This stuff's awesome. Really big fan of this one here. One that you don't really hear about, and also one that is affordable online. It's not going to break the bank, and you do get surprisingly good performance out of this one, or I should say I do at least. This next one is a fragrance that is kind of, it's disliked in the community, and I will say I'm not a big fan of it either. It's not my favorite, but it does have good performance, and I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't just because maybe it's not my cup of tea all the way. It's Dolce Gabbana K Eau de Parfum. So I will say between the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum, I do prefer the Eau de Parfum. This is another one where the camera I don't even think the camera likes this fragrance. Okay, you guys know what it looks like, right? Loud cap, obnoxious cap, there you go. I bet it would focus on it now, right? Yeah, so there you go. Dolce Gabbana K Eau de Parfum. Between the two, like I was saying there, the EDP is better. Fig, blood orange, and juniper berries are just a few of the notes here. It's aromatic, it's fresh also. It I think is maybe somewhat an attempt at doing something a little bit different, because when you look at the note breakdown, there's many more notes than that, and a lot of the notes in there are different. There's also like a pimento and just some other ones that you just don't normally see. And so, I don't know, I think they were trying, but I also think they were still erring on the side of ultimate mass appeal and, a consumer level scent. So, for the consumers, it's a great scent, maybe one that would be unique to them. For us, collectors, enthusiasts, this isn't anything to get worked up over. But I will say, this one is a good performer. Better than the EDT, which you would expect, higher concentration here. The scent itself is a bit more rich, and again, while it's not super unique and mind-blowing, it is a step in the right direction compared to the EDT, which I found to be kind of even more boring. So if you're after something mass-pleasing, but at the same time maybe just a little bit different, and you're not looking for something that is going to be super challenging, you just maybe want to change it up a tiny bit, check out K Eau de Parfum. And again, you will be getting good performance out of it. Up next, we have another newer fragrance here. This one is Bad Boy Le Parfum. So another one that is, the marketing, everything about this one here, that's just a little bit, not everyone's going to be loving that for sure. It's a really low-hanging piece of fruit. I mean, you can pick on this one for just about everything, from the name to the bottle. It happens. Cannabis, leather, and vetiver. So, with all of that aside, the scent itself is surprisingly good, and also the performance is great as well. It opens up with that cannabis. It's green, it's herbal, it's not like a smoked cannabis. You're not going to smell like you have some weed in your back pocket or something when you're walking around, but it does have a nice herbaceousness about it. The leather comes through kind of up top along with that cannabis, so it gives it this balance of green herbaceousness and the strong, slightly earthy leather. The vetiver's in the base, adding just a nice clean woody aspect here, a nice kind of counterbalance. Between this one and the original, I think this one's miles better. This is actually an Eau de Parfum, even though it's called Le Parfum, not a parfum concentration, EDP. With that being said, it still is a good performer. I actually get better performance out of this one than the EDT. Again, it's another 8-9+ hour scent, something that you just can't go wrong with. And while this one would be demoted as a poor performing fragrance because people don't like it and they don't like the brand or the marketing behind it, I would encourage you to try it for yourself, and I think you would find that you do get good performance out of this one, or again, at least I do. Second to last fragrance, we have Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. Pistachio, apple, and cardamom are just a few of the notes. There are many more in this one as well. Another one kind of like Dolce Gabbana K, where, it's almost like they're trying to do something different, but at the same time, they're putting in a lot of similar accords, which does make it a familiar scent. Now, Spice Bomb Night Vision is also one that wasn't my favorite initially, especially the EDT. Again, with this, the EDP, for me, is miles better than the EDT, but the EDP is still not like a super favorite of mine. I would still choose the original and extreme over this. Obviously, it's common knowledge that on most people, the EDT and the Extreme are good performers, really good performers. This is one that it's still known for the people who do have it, but it's not as common knowledge. So maybe you're taking a look at this one, you're wanting to pull the trigger, you're not sure about performance. On me, it does do very well. Another 8-9+ hour scent, very strong here. It's got that pistachio note, which is something unique, and you do kind of pick up on it. There's apple, there's cardamom, again, a whole bunch of other stuff going on here. But it is kind of a sweet, semi kind of hazelnut smell to it. It does smell nice. It is pleasant. Nothing that's going to blow you away. Nothing that is incredibly unique. But it is kind of a step in that direction, at least over the EDT, and it is a good performer. And hey, last up for this video, we have Boy Le Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent. Apple, sage, aldehydes, and lavender are a few of the notes. Tonka bean as well. You guys know this one here. It is that Y DNA brought to the highest level possible. And I mean that in terms of its richness, its depth, but also its performance. I mean, this stuff really does hit it out of the park. It is a very strong scent, very heavy, very rich. The EDP is no slouch either. Still is a strong performer. Obviously, they didn't change that up yet. At least I hope they don't with reformulations, but who really knows, right? But the Parfum, you know, it almost takes it to that next level of having more hang time in the air given its concentration, and also just the scent itself having more power and punch behind it with that depth in here. Also kind of makes this one cut through the air really well. Another huge performer. This one is, I mean, if you're wearing this and other people are, you know, just wearing the typical stuff, the cheaper stuff, Axe or nothing at all, you are going to be dominating the space with this one like nobody's business. It's not even going to be fair. People aren't going to be able to compete unless they also have this and they sprayed more, or they just have something, you know, stronger, I suppose. But I mean, this is just about as good as it gets here on the designer side. And again, for the general public, most people are going to be wearing stuff that maybe does fall in the more average performance range, you know, stuff that isn't as strong. So if you want to stand out, if you want to get some amazing compliments, and you want something that is very, very strong and packs an absolute crazy punch, check out Boy Le Parfum. Alrighty guys, there you have it. That is 7 fragrances that surprisingly have really, really good performance. Again, for one reason or another, you may look at these and think otherwise, but they really kill it. Remember, I will provide links to each and every one of these down below in the video description so you can pick them up, check them out, all that stuff. And remember to hit that fragrance and that 35% off link before you start shopping. I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.